When I switched to cloth diapers in 2016, I fully anticipated running back to disposables as fast as possible, and yet here I am almost 6 years later, and I'm still using cloth diapers with no intent to stop. Hey everybody, Pam with Normalized Cloth, and here are 5 things that shocked me when I switched to cloth diapers. Don't you yell at me! Yeah! So thing number 1 definitely has to be the amount of trash that disposables produce. That was probably the first thing that really struck me, was just how much less trash that we had. I was taking out the trash on a daily basis and it was putrid smelling. And I was just flabbergasted that we didn't have that trash anymore, like how much less trash we had having switched from disposables to cloth. And I never had a diaper pail, so all of our trash went to the trash can in the kitchen. So it wasn't just diaper trash, it was, you know, other things too, but every single day, at least once a day, we were taking out the trash. Excuse me. And I went from taking the trash out like every single day, sometimes twice a day, down to once every 2 or 3 days. I had cut our trash in half just by switching to cloth diapers. And you know that trash didn't smell good. But honestly, poop in general just smells bad, right? And yet that leads me to point number 2. The poop in cloth diapers actually doesn't smell that bad. Now don't get me wrong, poop in general smells bad. And when you get that poop that just smells horrible, it's gonna smell bad no matter how you diaper your kid. Why do I have orange on my fingertips? Oh right, window markers. There were times when I didn't even notice that my kid pooped. This orange is really distracting me. What was I thinking? Wiping off the window with my fingers.
Yeah.
Look like I got like a bad tan thing going on here.
No.
I think I'm permanently orange. So I expected the poop to smell awful in cloth diapers. I don't know why. I guess because I always just assumed the fragrances and stuff they add to disposables would lend it to smelling better than in cloth diapers. But it's really just, I mean, there are times when I go to change my son's diaper or my daughter's diaper and I'm like, okay, yeah, you definitely gotta be wet and you definitely gotta need a diaper change by now. And I gotta change them and I'm like surprised to find poop. Like, how did I not know that was there? And in fact, just this morning I changed Holtwood's diaper, and Holtwood's a toddler. It's not like his poop smells the greatest, but there was just so little odor that I didn't even notice. And then now and then a certain little juju bean gets those really stinky poops, and I mean, they smell bad in cloth diapers too. But the other day I was trying to get laundry caught up before we left for vacation, and I was taking cloth on vacation, but I was using a disposable for overnight just to kind of ease the transition before we left, and mostly also because I just had them, so whatever. And oh my gosh, that diaper smelled horrible. I didn't realize how bad they stank, like how bad disposables stank. It's the same poop, the same urine and everything from the same kid. It's just going into a disposable diaper and it smells like 20 times worse. Like it was almost gag-worthy stuff. And you know, when I was using disposables, because I used disposables for my older 3 kids, it didn't faze me. Like, I mean, yeah, it stank and yeah, it could smell pretty bad, but I was used to it. And I didn't realize how bad it was with disposables until I had used them again. Was like, whoo! Like, that's a tearjerker right there. So I just really didn't realize how bad the poop smells in disposables compared to cloth. It's like, I don't understand fully why. I kind of speculate airflow has something to do with it, but oh my gosh, the pee and poop, they smell astronomically worse in disposables in my opinion. But then on the topic of poop, number 3, I'm shocked that dealing with the poop on a regular basis with cloth diapers isn't nearly as bad as I expected. This was the thing that I figured was going to be the reason I'd go running back to disposables. Because like I had said in a previous video, my mind associated dealing with the poop from cloth diapers to be like on par with dealing with blowouts from disposables, and it's just not true. And so because I had this idea that cleaning up the poop out of a diaper was going to be like the equivalent of cleaning up poop from a poop explosion out of a disposable, I anticipated hating it, wanting to quit, not wanting to stick with it, loathing the process, and so much so that I was not going to stick to cloth diapers very long. And I realized very quickly, it's not as bad as I thought. Even when I had to dunk and swish, it's not bad. So dealing with the poop, really not as bad as I expected, and so that really shocked me. It really did. I genuinely thought I was going to hate it with a passion. And it's not that I like it, it's just that I'm not fazed by it. It's just, okay, clean it off, okay, it's done. I don't know why I thought doing this, like every single time they poop, I gotta clean it off. Gosh, that sounds like such a headache and such a nuisance. You see what she's doing? She's just sitting there having a blast. Yeah? Okay. Like, she put the blanket on her and everything, and she's just chilling. She thinks she's cute. And she's right. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. And speaking of not being phased, number 4 would actually also really surprise me, is that the laundry for Cloth Diapers does not bug me in the least bit. And in fact, it's my favorite laundry to do. Now, I actually enjoy the process of cleaning laundry, but when I'm falling behind, when I'm struggling, regular laundry, it suffers. It backs up. I might get it washed and I might get it dried, but then it sits in a basket for like 3 days until I need the hamper again, and then I have to fold it, and I can fold it, and then putting it away, forget about it. And yet when it comes to Cloth Diapers, now and then I might lag on it a little bit, but for the most part I actually enjoy the process of folding diapers. There's some closure about it. I don't know why. And I also make sure my stash isn't so large that when I fall behind on laundry that I'm not like overwhelmed. It's like, yeah, I gotta get it done, but I'm not like really far behind and struggling and frustrated and flustered and like dreading it. On the contrary, a lot of times I like to wait until it's quiet because my kids will try to help me, and something about cloth diaper laundry I just find really therapeutic, and I prefer to do it alone just because it's like my me time. Something, I don't know, just stuffing diapers, stacking them up, seeing all these pretty diapers in a stack. And this might stem a little bit from when I was struggling to afford diapers, just knowing that they're clean and that they're ready and that I don't have to run out, which then leads me to point number 5. I did not realize how severe my anxiety was in regards to affording diapers until I no longer had that anxiety. We were not in the best financial position when we switched to Cloth Diapers. That's why we switched. In fact, it wasn't long after we switched that my husband went without work for a time period again of several months, and normally I would have been in panic mode. I would have been wondering, where can we cut corners? How can we free up an extra $10 for a pack of diapers? My anxiety level would have been up. The second I see the pack start to run low, I would have been freaking out. And I would have just really been a mess. Like, trying to afford diapers was a chronic concern, because even when we did get a new pack of diapers, I knew that pack was going to run out, and pretty quickly. And I'd be aggravated with myself for being aggravated about running out, but that was because I was so stressed out about running out of diapers. I hated it. And I hated that I considered actually stealing diapers at some point. I hated that I had to make a decision between bills and diapers at some point. At multiple points, actually. I hated that I left diapers on my child longer than I should have, because I needed to make the diapers last as long as possible. I hated the chronic anxiety of watching the pack get emptier and emptier. My husband and I both, when I switched to Cloth Diapers, I was hand washing them in my tub. I didn't have a washer or dryer, so I had to hand wash them and I had to line dry them. And I only could afford enough for a little over a day, so I had to make sure I washed them every night so that they had time to line dry, so that I had more for the next day. And my husband and I both, I told him when he lost his job shortly after we switched to Cloth Diapers. It was a temp job, and that's why he was always flip-flopping jobs. You know, one thing that stinks about temp jobs is that a lot of times the employers didn't want to fulfill the contractual obligation in order to hire the person on, so they'd sooner hire somebody else. And it was a lousy reality for us, because a lot of places would have loved to have hired my husband, but the management made the decision to just hire somebody else and use my husband as kind of an in-between employee. So when my husband found himself without work again, I remember we did what we always do. We go through, what can we sell to try to pay bills? And I remember one evening sitting in the living room with him, and I looked at him and I said, you know what? I'm not worried. I said, and I never realized, you know, of all the bills, of all the financial obligations that we had, I said, the thing that always scared me most, the things that concerned me most, the thing that always made me feel inadequate as a mother because I wouldn't be able to provide for my child for it, was diapers. You know, not being able to afford diapers wore me down so much mentally. You know, if you would have asked me years ago, do you have anxiety about affording diapers? Like, are you worried about it? I would have been like, well, maybe. But I didn't realize the scope of it, like just how serious that anxiety was until I no longer had it. It was the first time, my husband agreed with me. He said, yeah, it's really refreshing to not have to sit there and constantly every single week be like, how are we going to get the next pack of diapers? Because that was seriously like a weekly concern for us. He said he felt that relief, and he said he appreciated you know, me hand washing the cloth diapers every evening so that we wouldn't have to worry about that. I said, I'm glad to do it. I said, it doesn't even bother me. It's a happy chore, you know. It was something I was very happy to do because it gave me a sense of independence. It gave me a sense of self-sufficiency, and actually then made me pretty irate that I didn't know about it sooner, that I suffered for so long. Yeah. When I could have switched to cloth diapers ages ago and saved myself a lot of trouble. So I think that the thing that shocked me the most of everything when it came to switching to cloth diapers was just how much anxiety I had affording disposables and how relieving it was to switch to cloth diapers. I couldn't imagine having to buy disposables over and over and over again. This is entirely my perspective. This is entirely based on my circumstances. I know a lot of people don't share the same sentiment as me. They don't feel the same way as I do, and that's fine. But wow, I didn't have to struggle so much anymore. When the pandemic hit and my husband lost his job, and when COVID kept my husband out of work, you know, things happen. Excuse me. We had enough to worry about, and of all the things that we were worrying about, diapers was no longer one of them. And you know, that also gave me a better sense of peace when we had our subsequent children. In fact, I was pregnant with my 4th when I switched to cloth diapers, and when I realized how easy it was, and I realized, you know, oh, this ain't bad at all, I can do this, I was so much less anxious about bringing our 4th child into the world because I felt so much more prepared. So there you have it, 5 things that really shocked me when I switched to cloth diapers. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye? Yeah, but you gotta say it to the camera. Say bye-bye. We're gonna go make some more videos. Bye-bye. Till next time, guys. Bye. Bye.